The more self aware a woman becomes, the less controllable she becomes. And that's exactly why the self aware woman threatens the system. She threatens patriarchy because she starts questioning the rules she was handed. She threatens what patriarchy promised men because she stops believing that a man's approval, attention, protection, or validation is the ultimate prize. And once a woman realizes she doesn't have to participate in a system that was designed to benefit somebody else more than it benefits her, everything changes. A self aware woman starts recognizing entitlement. She notices when somebody expects access to her time, her body, her labor, her money, her attention, or her emotional energy simply because they believed they're entitled to it. And instead of automatically accommodating them, she asks herself, do I actually want this? Does this benefit me? What am I getting out of it? That's a dangerous question when you're used to women being taught to prioritize your comfort over theirs. This is for the men. A self-aware woman also threatens men's control because control only works when you don't recognize it. Once you start understanding manipulation, guilt tripping, coercion, emotional punishment, love bombing, disrespect disguised as jokes, and all the little ways people try to get you to abandon yourself, you'll become much harder to manipulate. And here's the part I really want my ladies to understand: being aware isn't just about becoming a threat to other people, it's about becoming an asset to yourself. You know what you need. You know what triggers you. You know your patterns. You know where you've been making excuses. You know what environments bring out the best in you and what environments slowly destroy you. And because you know yourself, you can actually make better decisions. You stop choosing relationships just because you're lonely. You stop spending money just because you're trying to impress people. You stop staying in situations because you're afraid of starting over or losing someone. You stop shrinking yourself so other people can feel comfortable. That was a big one for me. I used to shrink because I didn't want drama. Now I'm all about drama if I have to be. You start planning your life around what actually makes you happy, healthy, financially secure, peaceful, and fulfilled. And that right there, baby. That's what being a self-aware woman can really give you. Choice. That's what it gives you. It gives you choice. You don't have to live reactively. You can pause, you can observe, you can make decisions based on your values instead of your emotions in that particular moment. And you can change your mind when you realize something isn't working anymore. That's how you live a good life. Not by being perfect, not by making everybody happy, but by knowing yourself well enough to stop repeatedly choosing things that make you miserable. The self aware woman stops confusing her sacrifice with love. Self aware women realize that constantly sacrificing themselves is not going to automatically make her a good woman or a good partner, a good mother, or a good person. She's going to be asking herself, why am I the one giving something up? Because a self-aware woman understands that love shouldn't require her to continuously abandon her needs, her goals, her standards, her friendships, finances, or her identity. She can love people deeply without destroying herself to prove it. She becomes harder to distract because she is focused. A self aware woman starts recognizing how easily women can get pulled away from their own goals. Drama, relationships, social media, other people's problems, constantly worrying about who's mad at her, trying to improve herself, trying to be chosen. She starts realizing that distraction is expensive. So instead of spending years obsessing over somebody else's behavior, she puts that energy back into herself, back into her own life, her money, her health, her career, her home, her friendships and appearances, her hobbies, her future. She stops making other people's chaos her full time job. She also needs to stop. She stops needing permission to become somebody new. And this is a very big one for a lot of women. A self aware woman understands that she is allowed to outgrow the version of herself that other people became comfortable with. A lot of women don't grow because they know other people are comfortable with them there. Maybe she wants to dress differently now. She's not in her 20s anymore. Maybe she wants a different career. She doesn't have the passion for hair anymore. Maybe she wants to move. She doesn't want to stay in the same city all her life. Maybe she wants to be single, or maybe she wants to be in a relationship. She went through a bad relationship, so she was single for the last 10 years. Now she wants to be in a relationship. Maybe she wants to make more money. Maybe she doesn't want the life everybody expected her to want. And she doesn't need a committee meeting to approve it. Self awareness gives you the courage to say, this doesn't fit me anymore. I understand where I'm going, what I need to do to get there, and I understand that I actually need to do something about it. That's one of the biggest threats to any system that depends on women staying exactly where they're placed. That's why you hear a lot of people telling women to stay in their place. So, yes, the self aware woman can threaten a system built on her being obedient, accommodating, and easy to control. In fact, I promise you it will happen. Not she can threaten that system. She is going to threaten that system. That system is going to be threatened by her. But honestly, that's not the most important part of this. The most important part is that the self aware woman gets herself back. That is my whole point in having this channel, Pretty Girl Rich Era. Like, just think about it, rich era. You in your rich era. We all were girls at once, whether we're older ladies now, middle-aged ladies, younger girls, teens. We all are going to be girls at once. We were girls at once. That's why it is Pretty Girl Rich Era. The most important part is that you get yourself back. The self-aware woman gets her time back. She gets her choices back. She gets her confidence back, and no one can take that confidence away from her. Now, I don't want to say no one can take her choices away from her because, with all the things going on in the, up there in the Capitol or whatever, the presidency, they're taking away rights. But you get your confidence back. For the most part, we get to have our choices. The self-aware woman gets her ability to build a life that actually belongs to her. And once you become a woman who knows herself, trusts herself, and makes decisions accordingly, you don't need everybody else to approve of the life you're building. You just need to make sure it's a life you actually want to live in. You need to make sure it's a life you actually enjoy. You need to make sure, as a self-aware woman, you need to make sure when you wake up in the morning, you are doing what you want to do. And if you're not there yet, you're working towards it. This is Pretty Girl Rich Era, where we heal, level up, and become the best version of ourselves. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, loves.